This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast. TC just got up and left the room. That was a bad time to say everything was good.
That's it. That's the end of it. That's right. Yep. See you later, bud.
We are getting close to the last 50. We're at number 52 this week, guys.
Isn't that nuts?
We're on the list.
Whoa.
This movie is Sunset Boulevard, made in 1950. Directed and written by Billy Wilder. The synopsis is: a screenwriter develops a dangerous relationship with a faded film star determined to make a triumphant return. And before we get into reviews, I wanted to point out just briefly, this is the director with the most... So I don't know how to say this clearly. Previously,
most movies
we had
on the list?
Yes. So we finished Ingmar Bergman.
How hard is that?
That was pretty
Is that
clear.
really hard?
I figured that one.
Okay,
it
so
made
I'm
sense
trying to
me,
say
John.
more than that. So Billy Wilder has 5 movies on this list. We have watched all 5 of them now, and the only other director we've completed their entire lists for, with like the second most highest number, is 4 movies in the list, and that was Ingmar Bergman.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I can't remember what those other 4 movies were. And you know what? I think I'll forget the 5th.
Well, fortunately,
we should review them and we should just talk about them. I mean, he is, he's one of the most famous from that age in Hollywood. Certainly, he was dominant.
Yeah,
and he's done I don't know, over 40 like 79 films. I got 79 Billy Wilder movies here on this through the clutterwebsite.com. It's like,
so to refresh your memory there, TC, it was
79
Witness,
movies.
Yeah,
Witness for the
what
Prosecution,
movies?
Double Indemnity.
Right. That was a good one.
The Apartment.
Double Indemnity, the Apartment, and Some Like It Hot were all Billy Wilder.
Okay. All right. Well, still barely remember.
Yeah.
So
There you
I'm
go.
still going with it.
So, John.
So, John,
Yes.
go first.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
All right, we're going to make it your turn.
How
'Cause
dare
it's
you
too late.
question
just
whose
deer in
turn it
headlights.
is multiple episodes in a row,
He
John.
just looked like a deer in the headlights right there, didn't he? It was just like,
ready.
what?
I don't know. I didn't.
I gotta go first.
No, I'm fine.
Fuck you.
This movie is maybe it's just one of those that didn't age well. It just doesn't. I thought that the actress was overacting and the narrator was underacting. And
I was
between the
so
two
sick of the
them, it was
narrator.
very strange. I mean, he just seems so distant, and he was trying to be snarky, I guess, but he just seemed kind of flat most of the time.
Sounded like
except at the
Shatner.
end. Yeah,
Sometimes,
a little.
didn't it? It
Kinda
really
looked
sounded
like
like William
Shatner.
Shatner on it. I was like, I was like, what the fuck?
So he was just kind of flat and unlikable, and then she was like about to bite you all the time. She's like baring her teeth every time she talked most of the time. She's like, and this is
like a nut.
very, very strange. It just,
I
it
feel
seems
like
so,
that Seinfeld bit where the old lady and Kramer get along. It's like
she's
that's from this
downstairs.
movie,
Yeah,
right?
the one where he's a murderer, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Okay,
I didn't have to watch the episode, but
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
There's like she's
Good.
wearing the exact same clothes as this woman. In like
You know
one of
when
the scenes.
Kramer wants nothing to do with you, you're a
probably
shitty
paying
person.
homage to it, I'm sure.
For sure.
I mean, this is so famous and well known, and
Right.
I like the idea of the story, and the tone of it is really interesting, but it just seems so overdone in a way, or underdone in other ways, that it was really. I liked Max. I thought Max was kinda
Max
cool.
is an all right
butler?
guy. He's an all right egg. He's doing his best.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
great to see Cecil D. Mill as the director, and so.
Do you know who that guy is? I had to look
I did
that up
not know who
afterwards.
that guy was.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
these
Real
were
famous
all, they were-
director, TC. These are all
Yeah.
famous people.
Hey,
Kind of.
I don't know
We'll
shit.
cover it.
You know?
Denny will probably have some trivia.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit in Book Corner, but there are many people in this film, and there's a lot of
It's meta as
relationship with
fuck.
these people. Yeah, to like the silent film.
Yeah, another like a Hollywood circle jerk,
Fuck
huh?
is a really good way to
Yep.
say it, Denny. You're right, and that's really cool. I mean, the people here are actual directors from the silent film era, and they're actors and actors from the silent film era all over the place.
Friggin' Buster
so
Keaton
all-
is in this movie.
Right. So that is all really cool. And I wish I liked it
I
a lot
wish
more,
that
but
made
I
it work
did
for you.
Not.
Yeah.
I did not like it. I did not go. The characters were weird.
Were you medium on it, or is this a negative review? It's hard to tell because you're such a nice guy, John. It's hard to tell if you're going negative.
I'm probably medium
This is pretty.
negative.
This is negative. When he's making that face, that's a
medium
pretty
rare, medium
negative.
I did not enjoy watching it. I just felt like it was.
I mean, I didn't either, John. So it's all good. You're not the only one.
I mean, I felt I liked the idea. I like the concept. I like all the meta stuff that's going on.
I didn't like all that.
I
don't know what it is.
I like that it's dark. It's this dark portrayal of what happens when somebody's lost the limelight. All of that is great.
I see. I got like all this other book. I got this whole other bullshit going on. That's funny. Yeah.
I mean, but you should. I mean, TC. You know how awful Hollywood is and how it uses people and throws them away.
All right.
That's a good theme, right?
That's exactly what was pissing me off. And I'm like, these motherfuckers haven't changed. It's all the same shit. And like, who gives a fuck? There's some old lady that used to be cool. Like, that's exactly how it is now.
Everybody.
Right. Pretty soon the Kardashians are going to be there. And they were the ones that created all sorts of shit in the, our younger years.
Can't wait for that day. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But the point is like, Hollywood's been screwing people over for so many years. It's even in the movie. You got the movie about the movie that is the real life. Fucking shooting, dumb shit and screwing people over and long-term actresses that used to be family in Hollywood and
there's some overlap.
What a waste of fucking time. I'm sorry.
But it's probably like pretty edgy for its time, I would think, to kind of take this dark picture of Hollywood when it wanted to praise itself so much. And Billy Wilder, I've got one of his quotes where he talks about how the Hollywood did not like this film.
Because it shows how fucking shitty these people
fucking
are.
Paramount did because they made a shit ton of money on it.
Oh, yeah. Paramount
so, I mean, Hollywood, and that's part of Hollywood,
It's
Billy
part of
also
Hollywood.
said that not once did they question the film. He was
no, because he's a moneymaker. They're just like, do whatever, Billy. You make us cash. You can literally do whatever you want. Use our name. Use our studio. We don't care.
Right. She like kills the guy. We don't. Oh, it's like a send up of how awful Hollywood is. We don't care.
I wasn't expecting that at the end. I'm like, all this build up and he just gets killed, huh? All right.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I laughed exactly twice in this movie, and the scene where he gets shot in the back was one of them.
One of them.
I laughed so hard. It was so bad.
It was terrible.
Joe. Bang! And he just like stumble into the pool.
Stumble bang. There was some good dialogue. It just was.
I want to pick up my briefcase
badly.
and I'm dead.
I like that he's climbing up the stairs. He doesn't know what's going on, and Max is like, "Let me know if you need any help with the coffin." And he's like, "Pause." That's a great line, but it just. I don't know.
Some of it was so dumb, though, right? Like when they're making fun of the dialogue, but that is the dialogue. Like, it'll play. It'll play. I know it will.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how you can be mad at this movie, though. We've already watched All About Eve.
Just stupid.
And this movie it came out the same year as All About Eve. And
you're going to say, well, there's much worse, I suppose.
No, I like this one a little bit.
Oh, what?
Okay. Well, then you know what? I'm going to shut up. You go, Denny.
I'm not like super positive. I'm kind of in a weird like.
You liked all that narration, huh?
No, not really. Actually, I mean, some of it I did, but some of it I didn't.
This might be. Is this the most narrated film?
It has to be. It's like all narrated. Yeah. It is nonstop.
It's literally listening to him the entire fucking movie.
It slows down a little bit in the middle, but like it's a lot of narration.
This is possibly the most narrated film we've seen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it's not a documentary.
But I mean, I totally get where you guys are coming from. I'm not going to come out as like,
he's
you should
lukewarm.
Watch this. I'm very lukewarm. I kind of liked.
Backing up already?
No. I said I kind of liked it. There's some parts that I liked.
You went to Starbucks, you drank half the coffee, but now like the milk's kind of curdling. He's in that area.
Yeah, you threw it in the trash.
Yeah, right. So that's when you decide, wait,
but like you're not.
I should have thrown this out yesterday, and maybe not have bought this coffee at all because it's fucking old and shitty and not a good movie. I mean, coffee.
So, like, I don't disagree with you guys saying that the acting is weird and the juxtaposition between the two main characters is striking. I think that's part of the point.
Striking. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's part of the point. But I did like I did like some of his acting where he was grounded. That kind of grounded the whole movie for me, where it was like everything else around him was like ridiculous for the most part, especially the Norma Desmond character. And I agree with you that she was way over the top, but I feel like the plot and the context of the movie allowed her to be over the top in a way that was way better than like a lot of other movies where you have these type of actors.
I know she's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay, and she's always very theatrical.
And she thinks she's on camera, so she's pretending to be these other actors all the time. So like it kind of worked, and I thought she was the best part of the movie for me, even though I didn't totally buy her as like a realistic character because of that kind of stuff. But she was still so like emotive and weird that whenever she was on the screen,
nose. She was going to bite your nose at any point.
At a very simple
typically,
level,
Denny
engaged.
does like people that are strange
Yeah.
That's
in
true.
movies. He always gravitates to them.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
like I didn't know what she
Yeah.
was gonna
Maybe.
do. You know,
Maybe.
I wasn't like I care for this character. I feel bad for her. None of that stuff. But I was
It's
like,
like, what's
Yeah.
going to happen?
whoa, look
All
at her
I kept
eyes.
thinking
Look at how
about
big
was
she's making her
Seinfeld.
eyes right now. This is fucking
that's all
weird.
I know it's like Nosferatu or something. It looks like really strange. It's like some kind of like
There were
horror
scenes where she like just had her
overlay.
hands in like little claws.
I know. Yeah, it was weird.
I like that
But,
stuff.
you know,
It was
and
very
we liked
strange.
that. It almost was like campy horror.
Yep.
Like, or like, yeah. So you could kind of like go.
It was a
down
little.
that
These are all
it was trying
things
to make
Denny
you
likes.
uncomfortable. You know,
These are all things
the
Danny
old
likes.
lady, and
I can see
I
it.
also kind of liked how they kind of, you know, this is a super old movie, and all you ever hear about is like older men and younger women in Hollywood, and this kind of flips that. So I just like, you know,
Yeah.
True.
2 seconds of appreciation there, just
True.
being like,
Give
well,
a little
this is
bit of
interesting.
be a little bit of like, thank
Right.
you,
Yeah.
thank
Then
you
we
for
get-
doing
we
that.
get
Yeah.
the other young
Right.
girl is just throwing herself at the guy
Yeah,
immediately.
that was. I didn't
I
like
mean,
any
it
of
was
her
like-
character.
I know. Just like, oh,
I didn't like.
this is-
I thought for half the movie that the ex fiance was going to be the one that shot him in the back.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that would
like
make some sense.
you know he's gonna. I didn't like it how they killed him
Yeah.
at the beginning because the entire time I'm just like, well, he's gonna die. Like none of this matters. The guy's gonna die. Who's gonna
So
kill him?
did you-
Probably
yeah.
the ex.
Well, we get to hear him
Yeah.
speak for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even after he's dead, he can't shut up. He just keeps talking.
He won't shut up. He's still going. That's
Yeah.
right.
What
Even
was
when
the
he's
other
dead.
film we had where the dead guy's narrating it? It's the
Murder.
It's the noir. Dial in for murder.
Maybe it's the guy who's
Dial
like
in for
dying the
murder,
entire
murder.
movie.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
sitting in the chair
it's
bleeding
like,
out her-
What's his name from My Three Sons?
I think it's Dial in for Murder. That sounds right.
Is it Dial in for Murder? But anyway,
I don't
yeah.
remember.
There's another one where it's like,
Me either.
I'm dead. See, that's me in the pool there.
See, I remember that scene, but I don't remember that movie. All I remember about Dial in for Murder is that they drink martinis in a living room for like an hour and a half. That's the entire movie there.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't
I'm
remember
getting
that.
them all confused.
My memory's not
I'm-
great
I'm
in
getting all
general.
my
Is that
noir.
Double
Sounds good.
Indemnity?
Seems like-
Is that one?
I don't know.
What is
no,
the
no, no,
old
We could
no,
do this
no.
all
where
day.
Dude
Which one is it?
dying in chair entire movie.
That's
Will
yeah.
Smith hits Chris Rock. Wait, what? That's not
dear.
what I wanted.
It's the top search. Anything you
right.
search for.
I searched in Dial M for Murder. Oh, you got Will Smith.
No. That was all so
Terribly aged joke, TC.
I don't
Yes.
care. I'm
Terribly
an old
aged.
man. I
Jokes are
like
funny
that.
for
Me
months.
and Clint Eastwood, we hang out in the jokes.
Double Indemnity is all about the tennis player stuff and all that. That's a whole different one.
No,
No, that's Dial M for Murder. Sorry, that was Dial M for Murder.
no.
Wait, what? Now I'm really confused.
No.
What are we talking about? Something about a nose,
Something
Yeah.
about
cat
a nose.
scratching, and
Hitchcock,
something about
he
an old
did.
lady.
Strangers in a Train is the tennis one.
Strangers on a Train.
Oh yeah, but
Was
Dial M for
tennis.
Murder has
What?
a retired.
I don't remember any of
in
these.
it.
I remember shit.
Yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah, this is a good
TC's
one. Hey, we're
pushing
doing
to
this
make a movie.
project.
He
I have
can't-
no idea.
He has no
what it is.
research in his.
Hey, that's the
yeah.
best part. We're going in it blind. We're just doing it. It's
Yeah.
gonna look like shit. Sound no, it's gonna sound great, but it's gonna look like
It's the
shit.
one thing we can do. Sam.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. You guys are gonna see. You'll be surprised. You'll be
I don't
surprised.
know. Whatever. John, you looking it up? I'll keep talking a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't even try, as everyone can probably imagine.
Did you come close to punting TC, or are you so
no,
good at this point?
no,
at
I
sitting
sat
through?
here and watched it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I didn't absolutely hate it, but it was, a circle jerk of Hollywood fucks that is screwing each other over ultimately, and like nobody really likes them anyway. Like, fuck you. What the hell do I need that story for? I mean, really, I got enough of that shit at work. I don't need to fucking deal with that shit on the movie too.
But I think, I don't know. I kept thinking this movie is very similar to All About Eve, but this is negative, right? Like this one is like, if you're in Hollywood, people will dump you if you're old. You might get murdered. Everyone is like,
Right.
out
Everyone's
there
out
for
for themselves. There's
Right.
always an ulterior motive. You never know with anybody what the agenda is. Right.
as opposed to All About Eve, where it's just like, oh, look at us. We're all so special. We all
Yeah.
deserve awards. Everything here is great.
Right. No, that's the Oscar point of view.
Right.
And then the other point of view is,
Yeah.
right. So you would think I would like the secondary point of
You
view,
think
but I don't
so?
like either. I think that's the problem. Right. Anytime someone does some circle jerk fest of Hollywood, I'm like,
You didn't like
you're
it how this
supposed
is
to
like
not,
a lot
you're
of-
not supposed to understand that part of the world. You're just supposed to see the movie as the entertainment. Right. That's not,
I like
it's
the
not supposed
behind
to
the
be a
scenes
part of
stuff when they had like
Well,
the
yeah,
movie
right,
set.
but it's
and all
behind
that
the
that.
was
scenes.
cool.
It's
Well,
not,
seeing
part of
Cecil
the movie.
DeMille there, he was like, that was kind of neat.
But I don't know.
Him and seeing him knowing that he's a very, and also a famous director at the time.
I
who
think a lot of
directed-
the voiceover screwed me up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was just so much.
It was a lot.
It was,
It
like
was a
so
lot.
much. Every
It
bit
was
was
the most.
explained to you. So
There I
didn't quite
was
like
standing
that.
at the sidewalk
Yeah,
picking at
right.
trash.
And you see him on the
Yeah.
sidewalk
What was going
picking at
on?
trash. Right. Yeah, there I
John,
was.
how do you know Cecil Deville or whatever the fuck his name is?
Cecil DeVille. I just know he was a director. That's all. I
That's
have
it?
no idea.
But you
I don't
recognize
know
him
a
when you
lot
saw
more
him?
about him. Yeah, the name is very familiar.
No,
I
you
didn't
recognize him as a person
The
when you
name,
saw him.
I recognize him as a famous director.
So you
like
didn't
an
recognize
older
his
school.
face.
Right.
Okay. I mean,
No,
that's...
it's like, oh, Cecil.
I thought, yeah,
No.
right. That's what I thought. Like,
No,
oh,
no,
man,
no,
me and
no.
him go way back.
Yeah.
Me, him, and Timmy.
Did you recognize the famous line at the end of the movie?
Oh yeah, they've shown that in Oscars. Like I think either when she died or when Billy died. Like I remember that being like an Oscars in memorandum tribute. So I remember that, and it's so creepy. Once you see it, you're like, I don't know. You don't forget that too.
So Naomi watches with me, and the ending was coming up, and I was like, "Oh, Mr. Deville, that's the dude's name." She's gonna say like, "I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Deville," and Naomi knew that quote, but that's not the quote. This quote is like the most one of the most misquoted quotes there is in Hollywood
wow.
because it's "All right, Mr. Deville, I'm ready for my close-up."
No, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Right.
But
I
everyone
see.
thinks it's the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, what can
Just
you do?
like Luke, I am your father is not the quote.
Right.
So I don't know. I
That's a
guess it
thing.
rolls off the tongue better or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, the brain just
Maybe
makes it,
humans just
who
remember
knows?
things similarly. You know?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway,
Who knows?
yeah. The other part I laughed at was when they were standing in the room with the dead monkey, and she was yelling and stuff, and he's like, "We said something about like quiet down. You're gonna wake the monkey."
I know. Yeah. That was, yeah.
And I was like, "It's a dead monkey joke. This is pretty good."
It's funny.
And then nothing else.
Yeah,
That
and
was
then
it.
back to
Oh,
narration.
That was the only time I laughed when it wanted me to laugh. And then listening to the commentary, this movie's supposed to be a comedy. I don't get it. I think it's too old.
I wasn't really. Yeah, maybe it was funnier back then.
It's also I thought what was coming off was that it was a little more sad than anything. I thought it was more of a drama because her character, even though she's supposed to be funny, I thought she was just sad.
She's like out of touch and old, right? Yeah.
So I wasn't like ready to laugh at her.
But
or
you know,
anything that
back
she
then
said.
they didn't used to think about old like that. And like, $28,000, whatever she spent on her house. Like, think about that. Fuck. That ain't much nowadays. So I don't, you wonder about the jokes too, because they don't translate
No.
at all. So,
for the
it
dead
might have
monkey
been
jokes.
funny.
Those are
It might have
timeless.
been funny back then. I don't
So
know.
I finally found it was Double Indemnity because that's with the one that has Fred
Oh, okay.
McMurray in it. So it is Billy Wilder that did this
There
one.
you go.
Yeah.
He's a cash cow. Was
Right. Yep.
So, but I agree. I wouldn't recommend this movie to people.
Yeah, no way.
I didn't
1950.
see anything like particularly good looking. Like the house looked pretty good. It was a real house. I kind of liked it how like all the sets, like
You
none of them were
usually like
sets.
that
They
kind
were
of
like,
thing, Yeah.
Yeah.
it was cool, but it wasn't like outstanding looking.
No.
Wouldn't
Just
frame
old
it, put it
school.
on the wall or anything like that. The audio was live. That was good for old movies. Sometimes the
Mhm.
ADR in old movies is shitty, but this was, you could tell they were like getting the audio there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really reaching here for good things to say about it.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You stay positive.
He doesn't shake a woman in this, but he does grab her by the shoulders and squeeze her by the arms. Very hard.
But no, no slapping though.
No slapping.
No
Oh, John's
slapping.
upset. No flinging and crying either.
No, we haven't seen a fling
Thank
and a
God.
cry for a long
I don't mind.
time.
I don't mind that. I don't like the fling and cry. I think it's stupid.
I thought you were saying you didn't mind the fling
I'm
and
starting to
cry.
miss
No.
him.
I hate the
just,
fling and cry. I fucking hate that
Yeah.
shit. There's a lot I hate, as we all know.
I'm not sure we're going to have another one that is old enough for a fling and cry.
Yeah,
Well,
we
thank
might
God
be
for
down
that.
there.
Is there a fling and cry in Casablanca? There might be.
Yeah, that sounds like there could be.
I wouldn't be
I don't
surprised
remember.
that we might get one there.
Is there a fling and cry in It's a Wonderful Life? I think that's a yes.
Probably. So we got some fling and cries.
Yeah, we got at least a couple more. Something to look forward to.
I mean, the fact that we're running out of time.
So
It's
what
crazy.
is your favorite Billy Wilder film that you've seen then, Denny?
Uh,
TC can't remember. All
I
of
don't
them.
remember them. So yeah, that's a
I
good
think I'll
question
answer for both
Danny.
me and TC because TC
Okay.
was very positive on this one with me too, but I think it was Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, you both really
Okay.
enjoyed that one. That was the comedy.
It was
with Marilyn
funny.
Monroe.
Yeah, I
It
laughed
was-
throughout.
You guys thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't find it funny. but-
Okay, it's coming back to me. Yeah,
It's the one with Marilyn Monroe,
now.
and they had to dress up like women. Yeah, it was just really silly and funny.
Yeah. I think it'd be the apartment for me.
the apartment.
The apartment. I did like Witness for the
Natalie
Prosecution
Portman.
more than you guys did. I think too.
I didn't like that one.
But,
that was one with the asshole judge, the fat guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I don't. I remember that
He
one.
was the lawyer.
Prosecutor.
The
Defendant,
prosecutor.
whatever it was.
I thought
Whatever
he was
it was.
still pretty good. Yeah.
I like Double Indemnity more than you guys did because I liked the lead guy and you guys didn't like the lead
I didn't
guy.
think the lead guy was good. I didn't think he was good in that role. He just didn't seem, especially compared to some of the other people we've seen in noir, he just didn't seem like, I don't know, like crafty enough.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about The Apartment.
Oh, that
Jack
was all
Lemmon,
about,
office worker, and then he meets a girl in an apartment.
Yeah, but he was like renting. He was renting his apartment out, or people at his business were using his apartment for affairs. Yeah. So that was I thought it was good. I seem to remember liking that one.
Yeah.
As odd as the premise was.
Oh, man.
Wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah, we're really grabbing at straws here. I got nothing else on the movie itself in terms of like questions. I mean, what do you want? You want to talk about the character motivations? They didn't make any sense most of the time.
Not really much. You got some trivia, don't you?
I got a little trivia.
All right, well, let's just move it along.
I've got a little book corner.
You want to do book corner?
Let's get a move. It's a quick one. It's a quick one, folks. Doing a quick one.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a 3-parter.
Yeah. Hey, Denny, you got enough to work
Clear
with?
your schedules, folks.
There's some static in there. I went through some of my notes. I have some interviews with Billy Wilder from the Conversations with Filmmakers series books. So this one was edited by Robert Horton. So I'm just going to quote for a couple of different of the interviews with him. So this was done in 1950 as Sunset Boulevard came out. This was an interview in the LA Times by Phillips Shore. There's not in this particular article, other than it was interesting. He said that we're a nation of hecklers. He was just talking about movie audiences today and just including himself and saying we're the most hard-boiled, undisciplined people in the world. And first our heroes smack their girls in the faces with grapefruits, and then they kick their mothers in wheelchairs downstairs, and now they slap their lady loves with wet towels. How much further can we go?
What?
So he was just talking about how there's not a lot of artistry, he thought, in films. You sort of have to sneak it in. But the one film he's referencing, because I had to look it up, was apparently there's this film called Public Enemy. And there's a grapefruit scene in Public Enemy where James Cagney smashes half a grapefruit into his girlfriend's face. It was a very controversial scene at the time.
Probably hurt, too.
1931?
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
But yeah, the grapefruit. So if you ever hear about the grapefruit scene in Hollywood, that's what
the one.
is.
Oh, thank God I know that.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. I want to watch this.
This one, I referenced this one before, which was the Charming Billy 1960 Playboy interview. He just references how he says, we only shoot from angles that help us tell the story. When somebody turns to his neighbor and said, "My, that was beautifully directed," we have proof that it was not. So he does not like fancy angles. He doesn't like he described there in that particular case where there's the dancing scene that we see in Sunset Boulevard where they're dancing in the ballroom, and somebody else on the set was like, "Hey, you should move the camera up above and film. It'd be really cool. We've got this setup here, and you could just film them from up above." And he's like, "It's not how we would tell the story. That's not realistic." And so he was very much just more practical in his direction. He wanted to use the direction to tell the story and not do anything fancy. So that's generally just his style.
How does he explain the opening shot where it just pans down the street for about a minute and a half?
Well, that told the story, Denny.
It told the story about how many cracks are in the street right here.
That's right.
It told the story.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Hypocrites, the whole fucking lot of them.
Totally.
He just spits off the cuff a lot. Yeah. So
that's why we're making a movie, guys, because we're gonna find out that sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't, right?
So this is another interview in 1976 done by Gene Phillips in Literature Film Quarterly, and he said that Sunset Boulevard, quote, clearly did not have a happy ending because there was simply no other ending possible. It was inevitable that Norma Desmond would go mad, and the picture was designed that way. And in those days, when you dramatized evil, your protagonist had to pay for their wrongdoing, but still, no other ending would work for this film. And at no point did the studio question this. So you can see it's kind of vastly exaggerated that happy endings were expected in Hollywood pictures until recent years. So he said that for the studio, I had no trouble. And as you said, Denny, they're like, "Billy, do whatever. You make us money. Fine. If you want to tell a sad story, we don't care."
So whatever their excuse is for anything whatsoever, the real excuse is that they don't think they're going to make money doing it. That's
right. It's whether
excuse.
They make money or not, right? They don't care. They don't care what the film's about. It's more about are you going to make us money? I don't care if you make fun of us. You make fun of us. We don't care. Just make us money.
That's true.
That's
People
what we're here
will
to
kind
do.
of rally in their distaste for Paramount while they give us their money.
Right?
It's brilliant.
Totally fine. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So he said he talked about directing the other two directors. He said Stroheim, which is Max. So Max is a well-known silent film director at the time or previously. And so it's interesting. He just said he wasn't really an actor, but he had this extraordinary personality that he just projected on screen. He said Stroheim was helpful with the script. He suggested that Norma be receiving fan letters that were ultimately disclosed as having been written by Max. And he said, he gave this little sort of jab at Cecil B. DeMille. He said, Cecil B. DeMille was disciplined and gave a subtler performance, I thought, more so than any of the actors in the films that he directed ever gave. So,
Burn.
Yeah.
And do you know the movie that was shown when they're watching the silent film? That movie was Queen Kelly, which starred Gloria Swanson, who was a big star of the silent screen. And that film, Queen Kelly, was directed by Stroheim, the guy who played Max.
And for TC, Gloria Swanson plays Norma Desmond in this movie. He's the main character.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if
lots of circle jerking.
Lots of circle jerking.
Yeah. And DeMille had also directed Gloria Swanson in another movie called Male and Female. So this was like kind of cool that there were all these silent film stars: H.B. Warner, Buster Keaton, and Anna Q. Nelson, Nilsson, Nilsson.
So it was like their farewell.
They were all had cameos in there. Where was Buster Keaton? I didn't
He was one of the wax,
him.
or they call them the wax men. They played bridge or whatever the game was, like the card.
One of the
games.
old wax men. Oh, I see. I got you.
Yeah, he said pass twice. Those are his only lines. He said the
those
words
are his
pass
lines.
twice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they had him in there.
But I don't know if this is true. The only person's name I recognized was Buster Keaton's, but there were like 3 other people at the table. So those could have been all like washed up actors, just like put in there to be like, see, Hollywood doesn't treat old people nicely.
No, we put them in a thing.
Out to pasture, the old wax people.
Yep. Sucks for them.
So in a 76 interview with the American Film Institute with IAL Diamond, he said that they had originally had a whole reel that was a different opening. And in the opening...
Taking all my trivia, John. We're going to have nothing after this book
That's
corner.
right. This is coming directly from Billy.
It's the only trivia that exists.
This is Wilder himself talking about it. So it's nice. So he just said that he shot this whole prologue, and they basically had a corpse brought in the morgue downtown, and it was Holden, and there were about 6 other corpses there in the sheets. And then there's this kind of trick photography where you see through the sheets to the faces, and they start telling each other their stories of how they died. And eventually you get to Wilder's character talking about his story. So they previewed the film with this prologue in Illinois. Yeah, Illinois, not Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois. That's all I say it now. So in Illinois, the picture started, and what happened was the moment that the corpses were brought in, and they put the name on the toe, and the audience just started cracking up. Like, and he said the film just went downhill from there, from the audience, because it just for some reason was humorous to the audience, and so they pulled it.
What?
And they did this other.
So what he did was he left.
Way.
He didn't say like he left the audio. He left the scene when they were screening the movie, and he went to go wait by the bathrooms, and somebody came out of the theater and was laughing on their way down to the stairs, and there was this woman that just turned to him and said, "Have you ever seen something so ridiculous in your life?" And he said,
"Oh my God, no,
I haven't."
Yeah, he didn't relate it that way in this interview. But, oh man.
So he felt really bad about it. Apparently, it was like one of the low points
dude.
of his career because he had been on a winning streak forever, and the opening of this movie was
he thought he was
going
screwed.
terribly.
Yeah,
that sounds. I'm sure it wasn't pulled off very well because this is a super old movie, but that doesn't sound like a non-interesting beginning of a movie, right? A bunch of like corpses talking to each other. I'd watch that. Sounds good.
It sounds funny though.
Something about the at least the way he told it, it was the name tag on the toe, but then maybe the interview he didn't mention talking to somebody, so who knows how it played out. Whatever it was,
like the lady came out laughing, so it must have not looked good, or it couldn't have played well for comedy. It must have just been confusing.
So they were
and
laughing
weird.
at it, not laughing with it.
The woman left in the first 5 minutes of the movie laughing. Like, that's not good.
No, that's bad.
And she left and didn't go back in.
She was going to the bathroom, so maybe she was. But I mean, 5 minutes in, you don't have to go to the bathroom 5 minutes in. I don't care who you are.
You might.
You might. I don't know.
You might. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
they
the
drinking back
prelude
then?
was really,
know?
definitely. 1950s.
Right? They're hammered. They got to piss. Been waiting for this stupid movie for the last hour while the film guy fucks it up in there in the real room.
He's drunk too. Everyone's
He's
wasted.
hammered. Yeah, he saw fucking Cinema Paradiso once and he was like, I can fucking do this. 2 hours later, they got no fucking film and this lady's got to piss and then they show a fucking bunch of corpses talking to each other. She ran out. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've been fucking waiting for this stupid thing, but Cinema Paradiso up there fucked it up for us.
I like it in this timeline. Fucking someone found a time machine and sent back in time Cinema Paradiso to this one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So he could become
Exactly.
a projectionist.
That's
It would
right.
fit.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. It fits for the joke.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
So I also learned in that interview, which I don't think we covered in Double Indemnity, that there was a final scene with the
So sorry,
character
John.
in the
Hold
gas
that
chamber.
thought.
Oh, yes.
I have the quote. So
Oh,
the lady
there you
came
go.
down, and just to quote her, because this was pretty funny. She said, "Have you ever seen shit like this in your life?" That's
Oh,
what she
what a
said
good
to Billy
line.
Wilder.
Oh, that
Nice.
sucks. Didn't know who he was.
Nope.
Had no clue.
No idea.
Nice.
Oof. That's a rough go. You
Yeah.
think she's told that at parties for a while as it went on?
She probably never knew.
You don't think?
Probably
Well,
not.
maybe she learned if she heard him.
I mean,
tell
later
the
on
story.
in the paper
Yeah.
when he's in the paper or something like.
I'm not sure that story was in the paper. I think it was in like.
I mean, and again,
True.
in the interview, he described it as the whole audience was laughing. So
They were.
That's a different.
Yeah, that's why he
Oh,
left.
that's brutal.
That's why he left the theater.
Oh, he
and
left because they were. He didn't like extend that into talking about running into the specific person after that.
No, he left
So the
because it
whole
wasn't
audience was-
going well, and he felt
Right,
bad.
right.
So then the
And
lady
then
came
he
out
did
and
the
talked
girl.
to him directly. Yeah.
That
Gotcha.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she talks to him, she says something like that.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Where were they in? Boston? Sounds like something
They were
in
in, like,
Boston.
Philadelphia, I
Evanston.
think.
Oh,
This
okay,
was- he
see,
said it was
Philly?
Evanston,
That's right.
Illinois. Is what
Illinois,
he said
okay.
it was. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Illinois, that's
all
right. All right, sorry, Illinois.
So
Yeah,
Chicago,
Illinois.
they got
Yeah.
they got people that are allowed there.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. All right, what else you got?
Just one more. So this was another interview titled "Going for Extra Innings" in Film Comment in '79. The interviews were Joseph McBride and Todd McCarthy. The interviewer was just saying, before I came to Hollywood, I thought Sunset Boulevard was too cynical, a depiction of the film industry. And when I moved out here, I realized that it was like a documentary. Everything is totally true. And then Billy said, well, it's a Valentine. But it's not just the picture industry, it's every industry. You make a picture about Exxon versus Texaco versus Shell. Every industry has got this kind of slush that is underneath the whole thing. And then he says network, the film network or the newspaper business. Naturally, I mean, just saying that this is
It's
He's
still
talking
all
about the
everywhere.
most fucked up industries we
though.
have.
Yeah, it's all entertainment.
Gas
That's the problem.
and news. I mean,
Yeah,
those are, like
right.
that doesn't mean everything. Jesus.
no, but he's just
No,
saying
but
like,
he's
a lot
right.
of these industries, they use them up and spit them out. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not
right.
uncommon. Music,
Pharma, all that does that.
whatever have you. You can have war stories and terrible tales of people being used up by an industry. It's not so
Right. I get it.
So in a way, he's just saying it's not like Hollywood's unique in that respect.
No.
It's just pretty common. And in those days, he continues in that interview just saying that Sunset Boulevard was a unique experiment. And he said, believe me, the town didn't like that picture one little bit. Quote, they thought that son of a bitch with the accent Wilder is biting the hand that helped him out of the water and is feeding him now.
Oh, wow.
But
These
I don't
fucking
know.
sharks.
He still was fine. He was doing fine. That's about it. The only other thing I got is that I didn't know there was an opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber on Sunset Boulevard.
Really?
An opera
Has
from this.
any affiliation? Oh, it's the story.
It's the story. It was
okay.
Andrew Lloyd Webber created an opera from this film.
Was it supposed to be any good?
Did they have
I
a
don't
narrator
know.
the whole time too? Singing?
Narrating, opera
Yeah,
singing.
yeah. And now he sings.
You might like it more.
Yeah, you might. I don't know. Right.
Has there ever been a movie that sings during the narration?
Bollywood.
That'd be way too
Yeah.
much.
Any Indian film.
I guess they kind of do, huh? Well, they mostly
Yeah.
just sing a song that narrates the story.
They sing a song, but it says, but it's pretty much it, right?
yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of talking directly to the audience, I suppose.
Yeah. That's all right.
Is that it, John? What do you think? Is that the end of the book corner?
That's all I got. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of Billy Wilder for book corner there. That's a
Whew,
sad
thank
story.
God.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Billy.
Thank God I
Hey.
know all that info.
So
It's good work.
the audio commentary is this guy named Ed Sikov. He is the
Uh-oh.
author of Sunset Boulevard, The Life and Times of Billy Wilder.
Okay.
Guys, these historical fucking commentators, they're
Are
the worst. They're the worst.
You haven't had one for a
I don't
while.
know how.
Are they boring and just monotone?
Uh-huh. This guy definitely read from a prepared statement, and he timed his statement. Like, you could tell that he would start talking immediately. Like, he timed out jokes too, but his actual timing was terrible. But you could tell that he like lined it up
like
for
artificial,
the time. Yeah,
sort of, yeah.
It was
Awesome.
really hard to listen to. He did the thing where like more than half the commentary was him either describing what was going on screen or describing what the characters. He's like, he talks like he has a great insight about what the characters are thinking, but that's the only thing that's fucking happening on the screen. Like, this movie
Like,
isn't
he's
super deep.
Just narrating
she's really
again.
upset. Oh, now she's really lost her mind.
Yep.
Oh, look at her hair. It's brown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now she's
And you can
shooting
tell
him.
by the way she's acting that she's upset. And you're like, yes, we can tell that, guys.
Yes,
How
we're watching
How
it.
are you
Yeah.
doing this?
Yeah. Well, who told you this is what they wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said a couple of really weird things, just like really strange things throughout. The one I wrote down was like, he was talking about how the character who plays Norma Desmond does it so well because she's not a cartoon character. And nowadays, all the drag queens that try to pretend to be her don't do it
What?
right because they're
Oh,
cartoon
dear.
characters.
Oh, boy. So he's just like some fucking... Was he breathing heavy, too?
No.
I don't know, but
Dude, it was a strange fucking comment. It came out of
That's
absolutely
a very
nowhere.
peculiar
No one's
comment.
talking about drag
seems
queens.
like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
also.
Oh, man, I was going to say, look at that cartoon character. Wow.
yeah,
but not like those drag queens, I'll tell you.
I mean,
And the thing is, he
What
wrote
the
it down
fuck?
that way too, which is
Yeah, of
extra
course,
strange.
he had it all
there's
planned out. He
caricature
practiced it in
of
front of
that,
the mirror.
that's like a pretty common, that kind of overwrought Hollywood. That that's probably where if somebody wants to go for inspiration to be like the outdated actress who's way into things, and that this is sort of the cornerstone of that.
The
Like,
equivalent.
Are you siding with this commentator, John? Are you siding with this fucking guy?
I'm saying that people are influenced by it. It's a character. It's a caricature that people do.
Yes.
But I don't know what that has to do with anybody.
Not sure
whether
why
you're a
they
drag
do
queen
it.
or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
what
like,
that's my
it's
question.
like, it doesn't speak to them. Like, what are
Yeah.
they really trying? Even the drag.
I
are they
just
really
don't
trying to
understand-
be,
Yeah,
or
women
what?
and men.
I don't
could
understand the
do this.
comparison.
Right.
Where did
They're
it come
both
from?
cartoon characters. Like, why?
Right.
I don't know.
mean,
And there's no drag queens, as he calls them, in the movie. So where's he getting this
It is a chance
from?
to trash the
Yeah.
people that make you uncomfortable.
Right.
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
Hoping
gotta
that
go
some
for it.
asshole named Denny one day can watch this stupid commentary because he's the
I one of
only
10
one.
people who listen to this
He's
fucking
the
thing.
only one,
Yeah.
right? And boy, that guy got his insult to
Denny.
those drag queens in, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, in there.
I gotta be
Really?
honest though, the drag queen comment made it so I didn't shut it off because I was just like,
Yeah.
maybe he'll say something
You're like,
else
oh,
weird.
look at this guy. Yeah,
Maybe he'll go racist too.
Yeah.
We'll just get all
He's
the
really
all the
livening
bases.
up a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Huh? Wakey,
That's right.
wakey. Yeah.
He thinks no one's listening, but guess what?
Yeah,
Danny's
right.
listening.
He
Danny's
tested the
listening,
water,
all right.
and it turns out
Right.
audio department was not listening, and they let that
No,
one
probably
fly.
not at all.
Yeah, right.
Oh god.
Oh wow, that's funny.
That Schwab Pharmacy place is a real place, and it was really famous for a long period of time. F. Scott Fitzgerald had a heart attack in there,
Oh wow.
Okay.
and some famous people were scouted there, and then like famous screenplays were written in there, and like it's just a
It's
really
odd
famous.
that it was a pharmacy. You don't think of ever hardly that being a hangout place.
well, it
I
used to
guess,
be like pharmacies used to be like soda fountains and coffee shops,
Right,
and
yeah,
like
Oh,
I
true.
know, I know. It's just interesting.
Come
that-
get
yeah.
your aspirin. You can
Yeah.
have a coffee.
Did
It
they
was the
sell
place to
booze
be
there?
during
Or that might have been
Prohibition.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I mean, I assume that was the case.
It's because
Yeah.
someone had lock on the codeine. No, I'm just kidding. The morphine
Back in the day
was in
before
there.
you needed a prescription to get whatever you wanted.
Yeah, right. You
Yeah,
just
that's
show
right.
up to the pharmacy, have a coffee, get a
Yeah,
fucking
maybe
pill, you're all
morphine
good.
milkshake.
Yeah, right. Have that cocaine dropped in.
Chocolate morphine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have that
Nice.
cocaine dropped into your
Chocolate
cola.
morphine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get a
you
fucking
get it.
soft
You get it.
serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some parallels to the real Gloria Swanson, but for the most part, Gloria Swanson was actually kind of successful after her movie career ended. She kind of stopped acting in the mid to late 30s because of her age. That's
wow.
really how Hollywood is, obviously. But
Mhm.
she had a radio show in New York. She did like tours and things like that. Like she remained famous. So she wasn't totally gone and forgotten, but this was still considered her kind of a parallel big comeback because she hadn't been in a movie in like 15 years, something like that.
Wow,
Which is
that's
a
a
pretty
long
long
time
time.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Gloria was in character the whole shoot. There are some stories from Gloria's daughter saying she would come home from the shoot and just be the Desmond character. And when the shooting was finally done, the daughter said that it was like they lost a third person in the house because apparently it was just like them two. But like
What
she
the
considered
fuck
there to be 3
is
people in
with
the house.
These people.
Yeah. It's method, dude. It works. Gets the Oscars.
illness, mental illness.
It makes good stories that Hollywood loves to share, and it makes them elevate their own profession, and I'm helping.
Yep.
You're doing your best.
That's right.
This is what you're doing right there. Yeah.
They started shooting with a partial script. It was only 61 pages. So they shot chronologically so they could, finish the rest of it, which aided to Gloria's kind of progression into madness.
Nice.
Little assistance there.
Because she knew the end was coming and that was it.
I guess.
They were going linear, right?
Her career
you only
was
got three things left. Only got a couple scenes. Lose your shit.
She cried at the last shot because she knew it was over.
Oh.
So I saw him making fun of her.
That
and
might
it was
have been
true.
a little
That's so bad.
like poignant for her coming down with the cameras
No,
on
that's
her
big.
and stuff. I mean, even I know she's acting all crazy, but it still might have been pretty emotional. That,
I mean, dude, if we played one more show, I think all of us would be a little emotional. Right?
I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because there's only 5 people here.
Because this is never going to happen again. Right. Exactly. It'll be like us when we show the film, our first film,
That's right.
Be like, well, all right, we're never doing that again. Yeah. God damn. My whole 401k's gone.
That mansion was a real mansion built back in the 20s by Hollywood rich people. The people who owned it, they allowed the shooting there as long as the studio paid for a new pool. So that pool there is the payment
A lot of
for shooting.
significance.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's
You pay for
what a
the pool.
deal. What a great
That's
deal
great.
to make.
Did they know that they were going to murder somebody in the pool?
I don't know. Probably not. They're the ones who asked for the pool. I doubt the studio is like, we'll build you a pool if we get to shoot there. It was probably some weird request by the owner being like, I don't give a shit if you shoot here. You want to buy me a pool? How about that?
Like, well,
Sounds
we're
good.
going to pull anyway because that's where the guy dies. So, all right.
This is perfect.
Deal.
Yep.
She was not the first pick, and neither was the main character guy. Neither of them were first picks. John kind of described the guy character, but they went to Mae West first, and they went to a bunch of other silent movie stars before they settled on Gloria. That opening shot, it's not the opening shot, the shot where the main character dude is face down in the pool, you can't put a camera underwater back then. So how do you think they did that shot of him floating?
Projector.
Good guess. No.
Camera under glass?
No.
No.
They put a mirror at the bottom of the pool and then angled it so they were shooting at the mirror at the bottom of the pool and then bounced it back.
Nice.
That looked pretty good. I thought it was
It looks
underwater.
really good. That is, yeah. I mean, shit. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I would have thought projector. So, it did what it's supposed to.
And here's the last piece of trivia I have is good old Hollywood pranksterism. All right. This is Billy Wilder being a big old jokester. All right. You got the kiss take where the young girl and the main character, they kiss each other. And that's that. They kind of just kiss each other. It's a regular old kiss.
Yep.
That was the first take.
Big old smushy kiss.
Billy knew it was a good take. He could have cut. He could have rapped. They could have moved on. But what he did is he did another take. And while they were kissing, he didn't call cut. And it lasted for, they didn't say exactly how long, but it lasted long enough where people in the crew started giggling and shit because it was uncomfortable.
Because they would actually hold it.
They were making out in front of everybody. And
oh boy.
And Billy was laughing. He thought it was funny. But the Holden character, the main character guy, his wife was on set and she's the one who ended up calling cut.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, hey, asshole, this is going on way too long.
Yeah, they're getting into it. God damn it.
That's so funny. The wife called cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's priceless. That
boy.
story must have been told for years after that. Oh, that's great.
Good old-fashioned Hollywood stuff,
I'm
fool
being so
around.
funny. It's so funny. And then the wife's like, fuck you, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good shit. And then from then on, wives were not allowed on set.
Oh, probably. Why were they there in the first place? Come on.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, supporting their star.
Maybe.
Back when you could do stuff on set and have fun, now it's just a machine.
Too much money on the line.
That's right. Get working. We got to hit A, B, and C scenes today by fucking 2.
So that's all I got. Isn't that fun,
All right.
guys?
Well, that was
Are you
great.
excited,
That was a good
TC?
time. Yeah. Woohoo. All right.
Top 250, Timmy. What do you say?
I don't think so, bud.
John?
Yeah. I mean, I can recognize it for, nope.
What it is.
I think this might be the highest movie on the list where we all three say no to the list.
Oh.
Hey.
Right? Because we're at 52 right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, we've all seen most of the other movies in the list because it's starting to get to be like all-time freaking heavy-hitting classic shit.
I can't wait for Gladiator.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's actually kind of high. Well, that's
soon.
it's in
That's high up.
six episodes.
Oh, baby.
But then of course we have bonus stuff, TC. So it's going to take a little bit
What are we
longer.
doing?
I think we should finish watching all the 4 movies that came out last year with the worst
All right.
person in the world.
Worst
And it
person
gives
in the world
us
sounds
plenty
good.
of time because we got to have this thing done by the end of the list. So, you know, we could add in bonus episodes all you want.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'd like to see worst person in the world. So that
Okay.
sounds like a good next one.
It is rentable now, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All
it
right. Well,
has-
that's that. I mean, that's settled. Next.
It's almost on the list. It's got a 7.9.
Oh,
Yep.
shit. That's close.
Pretty damn good.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
All right. That's all I
All
got,
right.
guys.
All right, guys.
There you go. Who's that? Who's that?
It's
Oh,
Jimmy.
that's a new one. That's a fucking drunk ass Timmy. I like it. All right.
Timmy's
I thought-
been
wait,
sober
is
this
there a
entire
sober
time.
Timmy?
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's sober Timmy. That
Oh,
you hear.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's,
Yeah,
that's
I
sober Timmy's like the 11 a.m. I've had a couple, but not quite too fucked up yet. You know, that's Timmy.
Drunk
That's
Timmy
his-
is just running as fast
Drunk
as he can
Timmy's
down
like,
the New Jersey
it's fucking
Turnpike,
2
screaming at the top of
a.m.
his
I've been
lungs.
drinking since 10 a.m. I don't give a fuck. You know, that type of shit. Yeah. There's levels.
man.
There's levels
All
of
right.
Timmy.
I've been wrong
Yeah.
about Timmy all these years.
Oh, no. Timmy's a good guy. He's out there spackling. Don't worry. At a house near you. Or hopefully not. All right, folks.
All right.
Have a good
All
one.
right,
Talk to you guys
see you
next week.
guys.